Whether you're young or old, everyone should be investing in something. You're watching this video because you want to find some ways to invest more. Maybe you're feeling a little tight on the budget, or you don't know what to kind of cut out of your expenses to invest in crypto, invest in real estate, invest in stocks, all these things. I want to try and help you sort that out, okay? There's 5 things that I feel like I and most people get kind of trapped in the world of wants and needs. And these are the things I would cut out now if you're struggling to find room to invest, or if you want to simply invest more while we're in this bear market. The first thing I would really prioritize cutting down on, it's a simple thing, it's more of a discipline thing, is multiple streaming services and multiple gaming services. There is no reason that you need to have Netflix, Hulu, YouTube Premium, Apple Music, Spotify, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Peacock just to watch The Office and all these other things, okay? If the only reason you're paying for Peacock is for The Office, you need to just watch The Office on like YouTube clips or some other situation like that, all right? Pick the ones that most please you, the 20% that gives you 80% of your viewing needs, whether that's Netflix because of the huge selection, or Hulu because of their huge selection, or it's Xbox because you cannot not game. Pick the situation that best serves you for the least amount of money and condenses your subscriptions. So then the rest of this money can go to your life, your lifestyle, or to your investments. For example, if you play PlayStation and you know you play PlayStation and you won't not play PlayStation, maybe you don't need Netflix. Maybe you don't need Hulu, right? If you play PlayStation and you know you watch TV also, maybe you just need Netflix and just need PlayStation, nothing else. This is a huge waste of money, and all those $5 here, $5 here will add up, okay? It's just not a good place to be, and it's a great place to start if you want to start recalculating your finances and getting yourself on track. The second thing is a huge waste of money that will completely change your mindset about how money works. Get rid of your credit card interest or your credit card debt, your interest payment debt, and your Klarna or buy now, pay later debt. These systems and situations, I know sometimes you need to use a credit card to make an extreme purchase that cannot wait, or you need to buy now, pay later for a very substantial circumstance that is rare. Sometimes these things happen, and I get that. But if you're buying clothes, shoes, handbags, video games, sports tickets, and all these things on a credit card that you can't pay off at the end of the month, or on a Klarna buy now, pay later system, these need to stop, okay? You need to not go out. You need to not have these new shoes. You need to not have new bags. You need to not go on vacations until you can actually afford them within your monthly expenses. All that this is doing is basically when you buy a pair of shoes on a credit card you can't pay off, or on a Klarna situation, not only do you buy the shoes, but you buy a second pair of shoes because of how much the interest payments cost. The interest on my credit card is 22%, or somewhere between 20 and 30% if I don't pay it off. So for every dollar I spend, if I don't pay it off that month, I actually pay $1.20. Okay. This is a terrible trap to be in. And all that extra money can go into investing for your future if you just buy what you can afford each month. The third trap that I really want to fall into, okay, but I'm really trying not to, is cars and technology. All right. Cars are so attractive to me, man. I love cars. I love manual cars. I love fast cars. And these are the cars that'll get you in trouble. These are the cars that you need to avoid. I'm currently driving off a fully paid off truck that was gifted to me when my father got a new vehicle. I got his old vehicle for free in a gifting exchange. And that is one of the best things that has happened to me in my financial situation, okay? Because I don't have a car payment, and my car insurance is very low. I pay nothing all year. I pay about $1,100 in insurance on my vehicle, which breaks down to like $100 a month. It's like $80 a month. It's really not a whole lot of money. But new cars and new technology are going to be a terrible waste of this money that you could be investing, because you don't need that new iPhone every year. If your iPhone's not broken, if the charge is still working, it doesn't matter how old it is. It doesn't matter how old your beater car is. If it still runs, still works, still keeps you safe, still has AC, all the things that you need. If it has the essentials, maybe it just looks bad or it smells weird or something like that, right? You can get around these things. My vehicle right now is hail damage. It has a scuff on the side where I ran into a concrete wall. It has no headliner, and it's just old. It's from like '09 or something, and it has over 100,000 miles. It's just old, and I would love to get a fast manual car, you know, even if that car is a beater, but it's just not worth the monthly payments, because you're going to be, these days, a car, you know, they try and get you into the 80 month financing or the 72 month like financing situations. and you're just going to pay so much in interest. It's not worth it. Every car that you go out there and want to buy these days is minimum $500 payments. $500 can go directly into crypto and can change your life in the next bull run in 2026 or whatever if you just be patient about it now. So cars and technology that you really don't need, that are just wants, put them to the side, leave them for after you make that investment. The fourth thing that you need to stop buying, and this one's a little bit of a controversial one because I'm going to touch on one thing that involves kids. But the fourth one is excess wasteful spending on stuff that is not needed. Okay. And one of the examples I wrote down was impulsive clothing, or like impulsive shopping. You know, you just $5 here, $5 here. You go to 5 stores in a day. Now you spent $25 in total. Or like another example is excessive toy spending on kids. Kids, for the most part, just are not going to remember their toys, especially when you have so many toys. They're not going to remember it. It's a short-term thing for them. And not only will you be able to invest for yourself, but you know, your kid will hopefully learn that they don't need those short-term pleasures either. All right. So that one's a little controversial. Some people like to spoil their kids a little more. Some people are kind of like me, where they just don't want to spend that money and they want to invest it. But short-term, you know, gratification style spending is something that you need to cut out. Okay. I get that sometimes you want to go out to eat and have a good time, but that's a good experience. You know, it's a good experience to go out and eat and just eat your plate and then it's done. The experience is done. But you don't need to buy those, you know, little hair ties or little glasses or stuff that's going to break, or little jewelry that's going to break, or kids' toys that are just going to get broken and thrown away. These things are not good waste of money. They're just slowly dripping money out of your account, and they should be highly avoided if you can. The fifth thing that you need to avoid is overpriced housing, or housing that does not fit your budget. Okay. So one example is I rented an apartment last year because, you know, every year you have to re-up your apartment. My apartment lease last year was X amount of money. And currently, if you want to rent that apartment right now, because rents have gone down, it's about $200 or $300 cheaper than what I paid for it in my current lease situation. So I'm paying X. If you want to rent this apartment now, you can walk into the front office and pay less money and lock that rate in. So timing is one thing, overpriced housing is one thing, but also housing that does not fit your budget and your goals is another thing. When you go to lease an apartment or buy a house, you need to write down what you're making in income, what your expenses are, and then add in how much you want to invest / save. And then after you have your cost, your income minus your investing and saving, use that rest to figure out how much you can afford to budget for housing, because now that investment's already budgeted in and you can make it without worrying. Nice houses and nice apartments and good locations. I know we all want to live in a safe spot, in a healthy neighborhood, and all these things. I highly recommend that. So that's one thing you got to finagle with your budget and play with those numbers. That's why we don't get nice cars and we don't do new technology, because maybe you want to have a nicer place to live that's safe and healthy to live in. But housing can be overpriced and you need to recognize when it is. The sixth bonus thing that I told you I would tell you is when you have more than one of these things affecting you at once. So if you have the new car, you have the new iPhone, and you live in the overpriced housing, it's going to be really hard for you to invest some money, all right? Unless you're making a top tier salary, right? So I'm okay if you want to have the nice car, as long as you sacrifice a little on the housing. I'm okay if you want to have the new iPhone if your housing, car, and, you know, clothing are within budget. If you know you want to go out to eat like every night, you're an out eater, you love to eat out, then you just need to quantify where your housing and your car, maybe your car is paid off, your house is paid off, that's fine. You know, but if you're struggling in multiple of these areas that we've listed in like sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you're struggling in all of them, there's 0% chance you're going to be able to invest in crypto. There's 0% chance you're going to be able to invest for your retirement in S&P 500. Okay. So the thing you need to realize is it's okay to fudge on 1 or 2 of these things. You know, like I've been considering getting a nice like manual car, and that would be like one thing, right? Or what if I lived in a nicer apartment? That'd be one thing. But you do one thing, all the rest need to be in check and be in investment save mode. Those are my 5 or 6 actually tips on what I would do if somebody asked me like, Dawson, how do I find some money to invest? It doesn't matter how much you want to invest, whether it's $10, $100, or $1,000 a month. Anything started now will benefit you later, especially in the bull run. If you're picking quality cryptos, good projects, good stocks, like good indexes like the S&P 500 or good real estate that you're living in. These situations you can control, and not everything in a recession like we might be heading into, or not everything in the economy is in your control, but you can control what you spend your money on for the most part, 90% of the time. Okay. So I hope this makes some sense, and I hope this puts into perspective things that you can try to change now to benefit you 10 years down the line. All right. You don't need Peacock, Hulu, and Netflix. Just watch Netflix. It has plenty of things. You'll never be able to watch everything on there. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully your financial freedom and financial future is bright and you can put some of these into action. Start with small steps. Okay. You don't have to do all of them at once, especially like if you're locked into a house or you're locked into a car. You're not going to be able to get out of those situations. That's the tough part. If you lock yourself into one of these situations, it's going to take a while to get out of. So slowly inch into this mindset. Maybe cut out your Hulu or cut out your Netflix if you don't need it, and see how that goes for a month. And then try the next step, cut out some technology and see how that goes. Try and pay off some credit card debt if you have it and see how that goes. Okay. Slowly inch into these things so that they can stack up and build and put you in a better financial position over time. Furthermore, don't just invest everything right now, right? Put a small $10 in this week, put a small $10 in next week, put a small $10 in for a month and see how it goes. See what you like, see what you want to invest in, and go from there. All right. Hopefully that helps you, and we will see you in the next video.